Alright, so X, formerly known as Twitter, has been buzzing because two very, very rich guys, Mr. Elon Musk and Mark Cuban, have kind of been going back and forth about some stuff. To the point where Mark Cuban has expressed interest in buying X.
No!
Yeah.
What?
He just said it. Where do you think this goes and why?
I don't think Elon would sell it to him.
No, I mean, from the high level version of AK reading all of his tweets or posts or whatever you want to call them, the whole like concept is to protect free speech, right? So like considering how much farther Mark is, I guess, from a political perspective on the opposite spectrum of where
is he? Is he on the other end?
Yeah, he's very Kamala endorsed type everything.
I'll keep that motherfucker away then.
There is naturally, of course, the sentiment that like it will go into censorship, and especially even with Elon right now. Apparently, Gavin Newsom's trying to file a lawsuit against him for like the ad parodies that he's been posting on.
Oh, the AI ones?
Yeah, the AI.
Because I feel like Elon is the only one that's autistic enough to know what free speech actually means.
But do you
Everyone else has feelings about free speech. I think for him, he's like, no, this is what free speech means. I mean, you can say that pisses him off, you say piss me off, but that's okay. And I think because of that, he needs to be the one that's enforcing free speech. So I want him to own it.
Do you believe that that Elon's whole motivation for X truly is free speech, or is that just the vehicle?
Know.
That sounds more like that's the marketing.
It sounds like he sees a underrepresented area that can be really like
high upside,
monopolized.
I think he did a good job using free speech as the way to boost X's identity, but
I'm conflicted.
I think it's
because,
money still at the end of the day, right?
Well, I don't know, because then there's two forms of it, right? So you got one, you could make so much to the point where now it's all about how you feel and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like there's like that, right? But then there's also the other part of it where you're constantly thinking of strategy and business. I don't know the guy, so I don't know.
How do you feel about Elon?
Well, on this specifically, he's a business dude. So, granted, free speech or not, I think he's going to look at it from a business angle.
So he probably saw that there was like an underserved area.
I think that is the business.
But also from a business angle, though, he bought the thing for $44 billion. It like completely went down in profit and value, like at a huge rate, like crazy. Like nobody would. He even screenshotted Mark Cuban's current net worth of like 5.x billion or something. He's like, I think you're like 39 billion short, by the way.
Oh shit! Buy
this. So like, even from a business,
maybe he had to offset some shit and write some stuff off.
You got to move stuff around.
Also, I don't know, man. It's weird because like even though maybe that's not the play. Like, you know how when people are like, oh, he spent $44 billion. Did he spend that money, though?
it wasn't just him personally.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like purchases work differently than how, like,
But
people
yeah, a
understand
total of like 44 billion was spent.
But then X isn't even in its final form. Like, his whole goal is to make it basically the WeChat of, like, America, right?
Yeah. But in order to do that, I can understand why there are certain idealisms and I only agree with Bart in that I do think he's, like, autistic in a weird way that, like, some shit just makes sense in a different way. It's the same thing as why he'll be like, with the Boring Company, yeah, I wanted to make a flamethrower because it's so cool, right? And you're like, of course that was a waste of money R&D wise, but like if you want to just do something, he's gonna do something because it makes sense to him. You know what I'm saying? So like for him, he's like, Earth as human beings needs to become an interplanetary species in order to survive because it is a likely 98% chance eventually some point that we will have a world extinction event happen just like it has in the past. Like he just, like the shit we read in our Earth Sciences books, you know what I mean? He's just like, this is fact, therefore we must do this. You guys are crazy if you don't support it. And there's something so simple about it that I'm like, and he's consistent with that kind of mentality. You know what I mean? Even with like Tesla, you know, the idea of being like, it's like, I do understand the strategy. Tesla's not necessarily a EV car company. Tesla is a software and battery company. And EV cars is the method at which it makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So it's like, I get that there's got to be some sort of like mechanism, strategy, and method behind it, but I do think the idealism stands.
That's what I think of X too. I don't think he's like, I think it's it's something.
He's not
else.
trying to save America.
I think it's something else. You know what I
He's
mean?
angled to something.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's gonna
I
be
think-
yet.
He does is like.
Yeah, because I think everyone's human, and so there's no like superhero per se, like Superman or fucking Captain Planet or whatever. But I think what he's trying to do out of the array of humans is the closest to the idealism that we're trying to support.
And I think that something else element to it is not like conniving or evil.
I think it's business.
Which is, but a lot of times when it's business, it is like inherently bad for a majority of
Because
people.
I think there's a pretty good business in claiming something is for free speech anyway. 'Cause-
Well, it's not like he's in fucking weapons manufacturing, you know. So it's like, pick your poison.
I mean, it's-
Everything's marketing. Everything is making a sale. But like, what are you choosing your industry in? And is it that harmful?
Yeah, like the other things he's doing is what? SpaceX, Neuralink.
He's trying to repopulate the Earth.
He's trying to, you know what I mean? Like,
I just think
He's
it's,
trying to have more baby mamas.
Yeah.
I just think it's
11 baby
interesting
mamas is
that-
wild, dude.
I think it's really interesting that we have somebody that's at such a high level of wealth and like control, like someone like that typically doesn't like being talked about that much. So I think it's interesting that we have that. Like, how do we have a guy that's so involved socially with everybody and talks so much shit to people, but like
Oh,
usually you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know who that guy
Like, you
is.
don't wanna be this
in
guy.
the world. Like
And
you have
know
no
what the-
clue who he is.
And you know what the crazy thing about this guy too, that makes me like his autism, is people at that level, they have to measure every word they say because literally the value of their stock is based off the words that they say.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a f- He'll say some dumb shit, like Joe Rogan's like, hey, smoke some weed. And he's like, okay. And then f***ing Tesla takes 20%. You know, he's just, for him, he's just so like, almost like genius in a way, where he's just like,
You got the blinders on.
yeah, it feels very transparent, although you know he's human and he's gonna color whatever he's doing with whatever his own biases are, but it feels transparent because he does so many things that 99% of the other billionaires are aware of and will not do. Like he'll say like, oh, what about this? Oh yeah, that up there. And then boom, his stock goes down. I'm like, who the does that? That's crazy.
from a purely business angle, are you team Mark Cuban or team Elon Musk?
Oof. That's tricky. I mean, I think in this like if you take like the last 10 years and what Elon Musk has done, I feel like there's kind of a lot of Mark Cubans out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like that happens, but like what Elon Musk has done, like kind of like it or not, but it's like he's like on uncharted territory.
For real.
You know, like he's on like a next level kind of like things.
Elon's like a disruptor.
Yeah, but it's the same thing with like X. You're trying to figure out like what is his angle.
Yeah.
There's truly an angle there.
It's so hard to figure out.
Because I listen to him a lot on different people's podcasts, and I put myself in his PR manager's shoes. And I'm like, oh, don't say that. Why do you keep, just shut the f up. Why do you keep saying that?
But he
he's-
just can't not,
But he
right?
can't. He just can't control
Yeah.
himself. He's like, I gotta say it because this is how I feel.
There's something endearing about that over time, though, right?
But so many people, like, what I realize, a lot of the news on Elon Musk that I see, because I'm very casual, I'm very indifferent from it. Like, I didn't really follow him until, like, I hear you guys talk about him. But people get so worked up,
Yeah, they get really mad about
no matter what, when they say all these things about him, and I'm like, well, and I look into it, and I'm like, oh, it's actually not that great. It's more like emotional, like,
it. Almost looks like those people are more obsessed with him than people that like him.
absolutely.
Which is like strange.
And then they kind of project their thing onto you, like, why do you love him so much? It's like, I just said, I think Tesla's kind of cool. And they're like, well, you piece of shit. And it's like, dude, what? All right.
Yeah.
I think he's a genius marketer. Like the way
Well, yeah,
he
that's
can,
for sure.
the perception of his brand.
Isn't that the brilliant irony, though? Because he literally is the one guy in such a huge space that doesn't spend money on marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So to call somebody like that a genius marketer who doesn't spend on marketing is f***ing crazy.
Or think about when you buy a Tesla and it's like you just buy one online. You don't have to go to the fucking dealer. Like that alone is like, bro, what? Like you tell any car guy that like this is what we're gonna do, you'd be like, you're a idiot. You're never gonna work. But he find a way to like make it work. It's insane.
Yeah, that's an amazing angle.
Yeah,
right
and he also was dating Amber Heard and no court case, scot free, clean.
No
nothing.
poo-poo on the bed.
Damn, that's huge.
Yeah, that's
No
huge.
poo-poo on the
People
bed.
don't talk about that one.
Do you think Elon Musk would ever do Shark Tank?
That would be so dope if they're both on Shark Tank. I like
He's
Mark
pitching to
Cuban,
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, he's pitching, dude. That'd be tight.
So I have X.
I don't think he would ever sell it because I think he has a weird plan that's not even finished.
Well, Mark Cuban came up on tech, right? He kind of I forgot what it was, but I think he came up pretty hard during the .com boom, and he just kept going, rolling into.
Yeah, what was his thing? He did something that was like.
Yeah, it was something tech, I think.
He's not the Zappos guy?
No, that's Tony Shea, dude.
That's the end of the video.
Joke.